Good morning, students. Welcome to Computer Applications class. Today, we are going to learn about the remaining part of the chapter 2, elementary concept of objects and classes. Okay. A class is an object factory. A class as an object factory. Okay, a class consists of the characteristics and behavior, right? A class is a blueprint or template, or it is a category of certain type. Okay, if for example, if we take a building, before constructing an apartment or building, first what it is needed, we need to have a blueprint for that particular building. Blueprint means it's a design. Okay, with the help of that blueprint we can build as many number of houses or buildings according to the design. Okay, here this blueprint is called as class, and the building, proper building or an apartment, is called an object. If we have the proper design or a blueprint, then we can construct as many number of houses as we want. Okay, so a class is an object factory. Okay, if we have one blueprint with us, then we can create as many number of objects as we want. Okay, if we have one design related to an apartment, then we can construct as many apartments as we want based on that design, right? So a class is called as an object factory. Next one is, a class is a user defined data type, right? In your 8th standard you have learnt about the data types. You know the primitive data types like integer, float, character, long, double. All these are data types, right? What you'll be using, where you will be using these data types? In order to hold a value in a particular variable, you will be using these data types. Suppose if you want to hold an integer value in a variable, then you have to declare that variable as int data type. If you want to hold a character in a variable, then what you have to do? You have to declare that character, that variable, as a char data type. Okay, so these data types, they are primitive data types, and they have their own characteristics and behavior. They have already been predefined in the system. Okay, so so the users, just we have to simply use those characteristics, right? Okay, these are called as primitive data types or predefined data types. In the same way, a class, we are defining a class. A class is a user defined data type. Why it is called as user defined data type? We are writing our own class in order to satisfy some particular needs, right? So these primitive data types, they are not sufficient to handle some complex problems or real life situations. So in that scenarios, we need our own data types. So here a class acts as a user defined data type. Why we are calling user defined data type means, here we are writing our writing inside the class the characteristics and behavior of particular object. We are writing, not the system programmers. We are writing as a user, we are building our own class here. So a class is called as a user defined data type. We are giving what all the characteristics should be included in the class, what behavior should be included in the class. Okay, all these things we are including. So a user is including all these details inside the class. So a class is called as a user defined data type. Next one is, object is an instance of a class. Okay, why an object is an instance of the class? Okay, inside the class we will be having, what we will have, both the characteristics and member methods, right? These characteristics are also called as data members, right? So there is also one more name for these characteristics. These are also called as instance variables. Okay, so whenever an object is created for that particular class, So all these instance variables will be made available for that object, right? So an object is also called an instance of the class. Okay, see instance variables, where we will declare these instance variables inside the class, right? How we will declare these instance variables? With the help of the data type like int, char, followed by the variable names. So inside the main method, we will be creating the objects with the help of the class name followed by the object name and then equal to sign, then new operator, new keyword, then followed by the class name parenthesis. So object is an instance of the class. So we will call an object as instance of a class. Understood? Next one is write a program by using a class picnic without any data members. Okay, but having only functions as per the specifications given below. Okay, here they are asked to create a class picnic. Okay, in this class picnic we have only functions, we don't have any data. Okay, here the class name is picnic, void display one. This is the member function, this is one function and this is another function. In this function what we have to include, they have given in the question. See here, to print venue, place and reporting time. These three details should be there in the display 1 method, and in display 2 to print number of students, name of the teacher, accompanying and bus number. These three details should be there in the display 2 method. Write a main class to create an object of the class picnic and call the functions display 1 and display 2. Okay, let us see how to do this. Students, here we have created a picnic class, and inside this class we have two methods. Display 1 is one method and display 2 is another method. Here we did not create any data members, right? So still we did not discuss anything related to the data types, right? So I did not include anything, I did not include any variables related to this program. Okay, we have included only two methods, display 1 and display 2, right? And the name of the class is picnic. Okay, and here we have created the main method. Okay, so as I discussed earlier, each class will be containing certain characteristics and behavior. These characteristics are called as data members and these behavior is called as member functions, right? Member functions or member methods. In this picnic program, in this class picnic, we have two member methods, display 1 and display 2. What we have written inside the display 1 method, we have included three output statements. So according to our question, it is told us to write all the venue details, place, reporting time in display 1 method. So we have written, by using the output statements, we have written venue is botanical garden, and in the second output statements we have written place is MG Road, and in the third output statements we have written the reporting time is 9 AM. So according to the question, we have made this display 1 method, and in the display 2 method what we have written is system.out.println number of students 50, name of the teacher Miss Bhavya, and bus number, so KA011234, so and so bus number. Okay, according to the question, we have used these three output statements in order to display the details, these details. Okay, now we have member methods inside the class picnic. So let us create an object for the class picnic. Okay, where we have to create an object for the class picnic in the main method. After writing these two member methods, we have to include a main method, public static void main of string args. So inside this, what do you remember what is the syntax of creating an object? First you have to write the class name picnic followed by the object name obj and then followed by the equal to sign and then followed by new keyword and then followed by the name of the class and then followed by the parenthesis. Afterwards, you have to include a semicolon, right? This is how we will create an object. Okay, if we write this statement after executing this in the memory with the name of obj, some memory space will be created where where it is holding display1 and display2 methods inside the memory. Okay, so we have our object is obj. We have created an obj object in the memory, and inside the object what we have only member methods. We don't have data members, right? Because we did not create any variables here. Okay, we have created only member methods. So inside our object obj we have only data, we have only member methods, display1 and display2. Now what we have to do, we have to call this methods. Okay, then only this will be executed, right? So how we have to call a method is by using the member access operator dot. Okay, here we have created an object obj dot display1. So first display method, display1 method will be executed, and what all the statements we have written, those will be executed as it is, step by step, one by one. Next, after executing all the three statements, then the control will come here and it indicates that this is the end of this member method. Then the control comes to the next line. The next line what we have written, obj.display2. So this method, this is a member, this is a method we are calling, display2 method we are calling, which is there in the object obj. Okay, next the control immediately goes to display2 and executes all the statements which were present inside this opening and curly braces. So all these three statements will be displayed as it is on the screen. Next comes the main method. Next comes the, okay, we have called these two methods, and then here it comes to the end of the main method. Okay, like this it will be displayed. First display1 details will be displayed on the screen. Next display2 details will be printed on the screen. Let us compile this. Compile. I compiled this program. I got no syntax errors. Now let me close this program, and then let me method call. What we have to do, we have to do right click here, and then we have to click on void main string args. Next what we have to do here, we have to click on OK button so that the output will be displayed on the screen. See here we have got the output. Venue, from here our current executions output. Botanical Garden, place MG Road, reporting time 9 AM. Number of students 50, name of the teacher, bus number. Understood, children? Thank you, students.